man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
Is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
What's up, everybody, on your Sunday evening? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Weekend down here in South Florida was awesome until today. It rained cats and dogs almost the entire day, on and off all day. The Florida Panthers had their victory parade after winning the Stanley Cup, and it didn't matter. Tens of thousands of people showed up, braved the rain, braved the elements, and celebrated the Florida Panthers bringing that Stanley Cup home. I'm still getting over my throat issue, so if I have to stop once in a while and take a lozenge or a drink, please bear with me. For the same reason, I think all you guys need to go basically get your favorite beverage, maybe get a cupcake, do whatever you need to do. It's after dinner for some of you, maybe before dinner, because we got a lot to go over. And I mean a lot. So let me just tell you right now, moderators, I hope you guys are here. You might have your work cut out for you tonight because, oh my God, oh my God, what the heck is going on with the Democrat Party? It's just one big cluster frig. It just seems to be festering boils and spewing and people popping the boils and another one popping up and bleh, it's just disgusting. And Donald Trump must be like, I'm just going to sit back here and be quiet. I'm just going to let all this just take care of all the news right now and just watch this festering boil fest just take place. And I advise y'all to do the same. Just back off your liberal friends right now. Step away. Be there if they need you. Pray for them. Because right now, they are going through something that they deserve. Can I just say it? They deserve every single thing that they're feeling right now. I'm sorry, I got no time for no patience to be nice to you. You deserve this. You tried to put this man in jail. You threw 34 felonies against him. You basically did a proctology exam against him since he came down the escalator and he survived, and your boy is about to be ushered out to pasture. Not that he's in pasture, but, he's probably going to get there. And if he doesn't get there, he's going to get there on November 5th. And he and Witchity Witch Jill can go with him. And Druggity Drug Hunter, he can go with him too. I'm over it. Done. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more playing nice. If you guys want to learn something, come over to this party. Understand that MAGA is not an insult, is not a dirty word. Understand this is to save and help America. It's amazing. I bet you won't hear the, we got to save democracy crowd anymore. Well, I had this entire show just scheduled, planned out, saying what I was going to say, going to talk to some people here in the chat. And the news just kept coming and coming and coming. And I had to rearrange stuff. And just before I hit the go live button, even some more news popped up. Let me just take this out of my ear for a little minute. So, just so you guys know, I got to open the show with something else today. And it's over. You've heard the term Walking Dead. You may have seen the show Walking Dead. They're not actually dead, but they're dead. It's over. You're done. They're at this point, it is too big to rig. At this point, we're all going to see you if you try to pull any shenanigans at ballot boxes. I don't even know how you're going to do that with ballot boxes because you don't even know where and who you can vote for and who's even going to be on the ballot. I know, Joe say, I'm going to fight it out. I'm going to do it. But it's over. You can mark it down basically June 30th, July 1st. Come back. If you're a lib and you want to rub it in my face, it's over. Let me show you this from the front page of Drudge if you guys have not seen it yet. This is pretty much the nail in the coffin. Front page of the Drudge Report. Poll, 72% want Biden gone. Big website. Used to be favorable to the conservatives. Flipped over to, moderate, Libby. In any event, 72% want him out. The staff hid the decline from the public. I don't think that's true. I think we all pretty much saw his decline. You mean the media hid the decline from the public. You mean the media bamboozled everybody. You mean the media was doing their best effort to gaslight liberals. Oh no, he's fine. He's the strongest guy you'd ever want to meet. Oh my God, he's sharp as a tack. Anybody with a brain, with an IQ over about 10, could see that this guy was just a walking, talking husk of a man. That's it. There was no wool pulled over anybody's eyes. We've all seen it for over a year, and we watched a rapid decline in his functionality. So no, the staff didn't hide anything. The staff lied to the public. That's what that should say. It should say 72% want him out. Staff lied about his decline to the public. If you're a liberal and you're watching this video, we're calling you stupid. You looked at things with your own eyes. You heard things with your own ears. And you still said, nope, Joe's fine. He's absolutely fine. You guys are just doing deep fakes and was it cheap fakes and making misleading videos and misleading edits and everything you possibly could. You watched The View, you watched MSNBC, and your world crashed on Thursday. And then they even tried to basically, put the defibrillating pads on Joe and say, let's keep these guys alive. And they started to come out and lie on Friday, and they couldn't. Hey, look how great he looks at this rally in North Carolina. Oh, you mean the rally with the 12-foot teleprompter in front of him? That one? You mean the rally where he wasn't having to answer any questions on the fly? You mean that one? That's what you're trying to compare to someone who's got to, think on his feet? No. So 72% want him out. The staff lied to the public. First Lady, Witchity Wish Jill, desperately clings to power, and Remnick from the Daily Beast article says it's over. if the left is beginning to tell us it's over, it's really over. Some of you guys may be familiar with, what's the guy's name? Nate Silver, who puts out a moderate poll. It's very credible, the 538. And he came out tonight with his poll. He goes, let's cut to the chase. So who's going to win the election? I'm going to save you all the text here, and let's just go to a chart, because that's what counts, the numbers. So I'm going to scroll down here. Who's ahead in the polls? 42% Donald Trump, 40% Joe Biden, 8.5% Robert Kennedy. But that's just a national poll. And as we know, national polls don't show the real story. We know what those swing states look like. Let's look at that. I hope you guys can see this. Here we go. The Nate Silver Bulletin. Contest, Pennsylvania, Biden down by 2. Or I'm going to start saying the other way. Trump up by 2. Michigan, Trump up by 2. Wisconsin, Trump up by 1. Georgia, it's over. Trump up by 8. Or is that rather 6 as of right now. And that's before Fannie gets her butt kicked. Arizona up by 6. Over. North Carolina up by 8. Over. Nevada up by 5. Over. Florida, it says 9. I'm telling you, I live down here. If it's below 12, I'd be amazed. Trump's killing. Texas, same thing. It says basically 9 points there as well. I got to tell you, it's probably close to 12 to 15 in Texas. It's over. Done. Put a fork in him. He's toast. Now look at something here. I want you to understand something that's really important. Because if they switch out Dementia Joe and they bring in a new horse, remember what I've been saying, and it's starting to seep out now. I might have been one of the first people to tell you that, who knows, they may try some shenanigans with the law, but the law, as it says as of today, is that Wisconsin, it's too late. You can't switch horses. Done. You can bring somebody else in, but you automatically lose Wisconsin. Well, Barry, I heard that they may go to the convention and name somebody. You can name anybody you want. I don't care. Good. Michelle, Michael, whatever you want to call her. I don't care. Put in Adam Schiff. Doesn't matter. Gavin Newsom, doesn't matter. As of today, the law in Wisconsin says you had to have somebody on the ballot, and it's over. You missed the deadline. You pull him, you lose the state. Same thing with Nevada. Can't pull it. If he loses Wisconsin, and they're about to screw up here, you lose Wisconsin, it's a coast through November 5th. Now people will say, Barry, how can you be so confident? There's a long way to go. Anything can happen. Yes, anything could happen. God forbid something happens to Trump. If something happens to Trump that's even a little bit weird, you're going to see some crazy stuff go on. But at this point, Biden has thrown every possible thing he could possibly throw at Trump, and he's still standing. 34 counts, don't care. Jack Smith, don't care. Fannie Willis, ain't going to happen. Everything they've tried to throw at Trump, put Steve Bannon in jail, Pete Navarro in jail. So what? I'm still coming for you. You've tried. I've held on to my base. Other people are seeing that I'm much more credible. You stand up there at a debate and say, Trump lied 35,000 times during a debate. It's not working, man. As James Carville said, your message is shit. There's nothing you are saying that's basically encouraging anybody but the nuts, the absolute far leftist nuts, to vote for you. That's it. It's done. Losing the young, losing the black. When I say losing the black, losing a big portion of the black, losing a big portion of the Hispanic, and you're starting to lose a good-sized portion of women, which has always been, basically the block, I almost said the word, the baby removal block that they could count on. Now they can't even count on that. Why? Because just like with any interpersonal relationship, You can get over all kinds of things in life. Hey, I don't like you because you stink. I don't like you. I'll take a shower. Okay. I don't like you the way you eat and the food, and it makes me sick to look. I'll do better. I don't like that you're yelling at me. I don't. Name it. You guys who are married and those of you who have been in relationships understand the number one thing that's almost impossible to get over and get back in someone's good graces is lying to them. Once you lie to people, whether it's a business associate, a boss, a parent, a spouse, a friend, once you lie to that person, you have broken a bond that is more than likely irreparable. You can't fix it. You might still end up being friends, but there's going to be that part where they go, I don't know about him, okay? I don't trust him that much. Your spouse, you may end up losing your marriage. You break trust in your marriage, you got a lot to do. A lot to do. And so women who are extremely, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it's just the way, women who are really women are built, are emotional. They have needs that have to be met, and many times those needs are met by loyalty and trust. It's inherent. And right now people have woken up since Thursday and went, I've been lied to. I've been lied to openly. People have looked me in the face. People have, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. I trusted you. I don't sit in front of the news all day long. I trust you when I do tune in to tell me the truth. And now they're finding out in a epic way that they were gaslit. They were lied to. Epically lied to. So those numbers that I just showed you, I think those numbers are going to change drastically. In addition to losing women, there's another group of people who don't want to feel lied to. These are the people that give you money. Because once I give you my money, whether it's a tithe at church, whether it's a friend that needs some help, whether it's a coworker that needs, just a little pick me up, once that person lies to you and scams you, you're not going to be as happy to give them money. I know the Democrats reported that they've made $33 million since Thursday night. That doesn't mean anything. That money could have already been in the pipeline. Those of you who have gone to donation sites, you put your money in the credit card hits, and then of course when it settles, they capture it and then you get billed. It's not like people are throwing out cash to the Democrat Party. They put in wire transfers, they put in their credit card. Some of that money was baked in before the debate. Absolutely. So they're counting on showing you receipts. And when they show you those receipts, they're saying, it came in since Thursday. No, it doesn't. Not necessarily. I want to know next week how much money you raised. Oh, and I want to know who you're raising it from. Because right now, everybody knows you're lying. Everybody knows the media is lying. You know how bad it is for the media? This is really bad. Some of you guys may have seen the video of Jill helping Joe down the stair. I was going to say stairs. Down the stair after the debate. Somebody surreptitiously filmed it. You could see he was behind something, and he had his cell phone, and he caught the clip. I'm surprised they let him have it. And they show basically her helping him off the stage. What I found most interesting about that entire thing is that Dana Bash and Jake Tapper were right in front of her doing that. They're looking at the stage and they can see her help him down. How do I know this? Because she came over to shake their hands. Did you see Jake Tapper or Dana Bash report about that? Do you think that might have been something of epic importance? Hey, listen, just so you guys know, after the debate, Dementia Joe could barely come down a stair that was 3 inches high. He couldn't make it. His wife had to help him, and one of our producers had to go over and help his other arm. Didn't hear that from Dana Bash. Didn't hear it from Jake Tapper. They lied to everybody. It might be a lie of omission, but it's still a lie. An absolute lie. Makes me absolutely sick. And it's funny, when you look at this tweet from Jack Posobiec, and it makes so much sense here. It says, you must understand that normies didn't know that Biden was this bad. Everyone in media and the liberal establishment all knew he was this bad. There was no secrets. Everybody knew he was this bad. The media freak out is because we're seeing it and they couldn't cover it up. And the normies realize now that they've been lied to. That trust is out the window. It's gone. It's forever gone. It can't be made up because now they know to look for it. Wait till the next, not just debate, but any sort of speech. And people are it'll get clipped and shown everywhere. And as soon as it happens again, people are going to realize, yep, we were lied to. This guy can't do anything. Which is why 72% of people want him gone. So what that tweet was referring to, or what Nate Silver was referring to, is this. This morning, this poll came out. This poll it's from a credible source because it's CBS. CBS News came out with this poll, and it says, does Biden have the mental and cognitive health to serve as president? On June 9th, just a few weeks ago, it was only 65% of people thought he did. Today, this poll was released today, or it was done last night, compiled last night, and now it's at 72%. 72% of people say he does not have the mental and cognitive health to serve as president. Notice what that poll said. Here, let me just show it to you again. What do you notice about this poll? I wonder if anybody's picking it up. What do you notice about this poll? Okay, I'm not going to hold everybody up, but let me just tell you. This poll says, does Biden have the mental and cognitive health to serve as president? It didn't say as candidate. It didn't say running for office. It says, does he have the cognitive and mental health to serve as president now? Not in November or next January when he's going to run. Now. And 72% of Americans, that wasn't a Republican poll, 72% of Americans say, he's not capable of being president now. Not 6 months from now. He can't do it now. Let me show you. Now that I've pointed that out to you, now you can actually see it. It says to serve as president. It does not say should he continue to run as a candidate for president. He's done. You've lost the trust of 72% of the American people. There's no way you're coming back from that. And every single Democrat knows it right now. Because this isn't a guy who slipped and broke his ankle. This isn't a guy like even Fetterman who had a stroke and is working. He's doing some PT and he's trying to come back. This isn't a guy who's got cancer, prostate cancer, and he's got it in remission and they're treating it with laser and chemicals. None of that. This is a guy with dementia. And the last time I checked, there's no cure. There's no coming back. It's a one-way ride. So 72% of people, and probably I bet you a good portion of those people, either have or do know somebody who's been affected by this horrible disease. Like I said, even with Dementia Joe, I wouldn't wish it upon him. I've seen what it does to people. It is the most epically horrible thing that could even happen to somebody. And even with someone burned up in a fire, at least you go quick. This is a slow, methodical, ongoing decline. And any of you guys who have been involved in or unfortunately have seen relatives or friends, you know exactly what I mean. And everybody can see it. And you're like, we can't do anything to help you. If somebody caught on fire, you can pour water on them. Somebody gets in a car accident, you can try to get them to a hospital. See if there's nothing you can do with dementia. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. And it begins to accelerate depending on where you are in the stages. It doesn't like, well, he might get, no, there's no coming back. They can't even lie and say he's going to get better. Nope. Everybody knows there is no coming back. It is a ski slope, a accelerating ski slope. So when you see this and you see 72% right now, and they understand that, you know, he's in that way, and they're saying, as you can see it, that, fix my chair, 72% are saying he can't be president now. Never mind be a candidate. We can't trust him to be president. So there may be liberal friends that you may see at work tomorrow. There may be some liberals here inside the chat who just don't want to understand. But eventually, it's sort of like two people break up. At one point, you have to accept, hey man, she don't want you no more. She's not coming back. She's moving on with her life, and she's basically shook hands with you and said, I'm out. The finality of what these people are about to go through it has to be chilling, because they can't understand he's not going to get better. And I've seen some people go, I don't care what he's like, I'd still vote for him over Donald Trump. Then you're just a complete idiot. You don't care. Not only do you not care about yourself, you don't care about anybody else. If you're okay voting for somebody that you know has a declining mental ability, a declining capacity to protect the country, and you know that he has been hidden by a group of people who have taken it upon themselves to lie to the general public and put everybody's life in danger, and you're okay with that, you are an immeasurably low piece of scum, if that's okay with you. And I don't care if you're in here and that hurts your feelings. If you still want to vote for Dementia Joe at this point, you are the lowest measurable piece of scum in America. You are wishing harm upon every single American. So obviously, you don't care about America. Because at this point, the race is no longer between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The race is now between Donald Trump, and Kamala Harris. Forget what's his name? Dementia Joe. Take him off the table. He's a figurehead. Even if he stays in the race, at this point, Trump should immediately shift and just be talking about Kamala. Because everybody has to be aware that if somehow they keep Dementia Joe on the ballot, what they are really saying is, if we win come January 20th the next year, you're hitting the skids and Kamala's going to be president. There's no way in hell that they're going to try and get this guy to be president after next year. That's who we're running against. We are now running against Kamala. As of right now, that's how I look at it. I don't know how you may be looking at it. Let me see. What do you guys think? Observable reality and common sense doesn't matter to these Democrats. The gaslighting is off the charts with these Marxist Satanists. Good. You're absolutely right. What do we got here? Newsom. Yeah, the whole thing with Newsom, I was called Newsom as well, is if he has political aspirations, at this point, it would be better of him to say, you know what? I'm not getting involved in this dumpster fire. I'm not going to put my name, even though I've destroyed California, I still ain't done this bad. I'm not getting into this. Not going to do it. I am not okay with this. Trump needs to hammer Kamala Harris about her job not keeping us safe here. Yeah, she was supposed to be the immigration czar. Yeah, she was the immigration czar. I don't know if she's even been there. It's absolutely crazy. Michael Obama and RFK Jr. I can't even comment on that. Glad you letting me hear you. They try to spin it on Fox and all grasping straws to make me think my guy Trump might not win. Anything could happen, obviously. I mean, I may be hyperbolic, but I firmly believe what I'm saying because numbers don't lie. Hail Mary pass, you could lose. If you're stupid enough to let your defense lapse and somebody throws a Hail Mary pass to win, yeah, that could happen. If you have to pull the goalie and they hit you with an empty net goal, yeah, they could, something could happen. But it would have to be basically the equivalent of hitting a royal flush at this point. You would have to, the odds are so, you can't even imagine what the odds would have to be at this point. So mathematically, and I've always prided myself on being an analytical, mathematic person, and even with, let me go back to what this guy said. Where is it? Let me just show you this, because in his article here, he says, so the forecast is, so you're telling me there's a chance. And then what he says here is, needless to say, stranger things have happened than a candidate who is behind the polls coming back and winning. In America's polarized political climate, most elections are close and a candidate is rarely out of the running. So, yeah, basically, you have a chance. The old Costanza thing. So basically, there's a chance. Yeah, because nobody who does math is going to say it's 100% absolute. On the other hand, the data at this point is almost insurmountable. There is basically no way that you can come back from this. And I love what David Sachs said here. David Sachs, billionaire, who has basically been a liberal and is now coming back and coming into the fold and realizing, I can't put my billions, and I can't have my friend have his billions at risk, and here's what I'm coming back. The Democrats' insurrection against Joe Biden. Democrat Party operatives and their allies in the mainstream media are engaged in a full-scale insurrection to prevent the certification of President Biden as the Democratic nominee, even though he won all the necessary votes in the 50-state primary elections. It's a really important point. These are the same people who say democracy is on the ballot. Donald Trump is going to destroy democracy, while they are right now talking about destroying democracy in actuality. They didn't run anybody against Dementia Joe. He won all 50 states, millions and millions of votes, every single primary. The people have voted. This is the guy we want. You lied to all those people for a year, and now those votes all got behind Dementia Joe, and now you're talking about, well, maybe we can go to convention and do something. That's so anti-democratic, I don't know what you want to call it. This attempt at election interference is not motivated by the sudden discovery of Biden's cognitive impairment, about which they've known, hidden, and gaslit for years. See, that's the thing people need to keep coming back to. None of this is new. It might be new to some people who are just seeing it because you've been lied to. But that's the part you have to wrap your arms around. You have been lied to. You have been played like a fiddle. But rather by the fact that Biden is down in the polls and is likely to lose. All of this preserving democracy crap, but what they really mean is preserving their own power. Exactly right. Preserving democracy means permanent rule by the Democratic Party, just as communism meant permanent rule by the Communist Party. In the name of democracy, this caste of party operatives has also sought to censor true speech on the internet, prosecute political opponents, and even remove their leading opponent's name from the ballot. Remember that. They tried to get Donald Trump off the ballot in a few states. Having failed at all of that, they're looking for some new trickery, like a pack of hyenas that will gladly turn on each other if it means one more feeding on the desiccated carcass of their own corrupt rule. Ooh, spicy. Very spicy. But he continues, voters should punish this mendacity up and down the ticket in November. This pack of liars knew about the president's dangerous infirmity and covered it up until the lie could be sustained no more. People this hungry for power should never be entrusted with it. Let me change that sentence. People this hungry for power should never be entrusted with it now and ever again. At this point, the Democratic Party needs to be eradicated. You've seen that they try lawfare. You see they will stop at nothing for power, 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 power. They will steal your money. They will spit in your face and tell you it's fantastic. They will tell you over and over and over, hey, listen, things are actually pretty good. Just watch the little ball here. The economy's fine. Everything's fine. We're not going to war. We're not after your children. Oh, by the way, it's June. Take all this and love it. That's what they've done to the American people. That's what these newcomers, 10, 11 million, we need them. They're more important than you are. We're going to put them up in 5-star hotels, give them ATM cards, internet, cell phones for free because they're more important than you. When you stack up everything the Democrats have done to Americans, these people can never, ever be allowed in the White House again. They shouldn't be allowed in Congress ever again. All they've done is try to hurt actual Americans. They put a grandmother in jail for 2 friggin' years because she was praying at a baby removal clinic. Are you friggin' kidding me? That's what you want to do? You put a whistleblower in jail? You, like Trump has said, he's just standing in the way. You can see it now. You can actually see it. Hey, miss, we're going to ban this guy from Twitter. Oh, once we banned him, let's ban the rest of these friggin' people. Let's ban them all off of social media. We did it to Trump. Got away with doing it to him. Let's just do it to the rest of these people. He was standing in the way. They removed him. They came after everybody else. Hey, you're not allowed to tell a kid that they can't be a transformer. We're going to remove the parents. Coming after your kids. Hey, we can do it now because we basically are taking whatever power we want. Hey, we want to raise your taxes to 44% and make you work half the year to give us your money. So then we could sell it or basically send it to some overseas country. Nothing you can do about it. For years, these people have put their boots on the necks of Americans and then looked down and said, ask us for more. You're gonna like it. Either way, you're gonna take it. And do you know, as much as right now is June, and it's almost over, tomorrow we don't have to deal with all this crap, but yet we do? Do you know there's like 150 days on the calendar of celebration for the LGBTQIS, MSSIPPI people that make up this much of the population? Look it up. I think it's like 145, 150 days on the calendar celebrating Transformers and everything else. Meanwhile, our vets are dying at the rate of 22, 23 people a day committing suicide. No one's taking care of them. It's nuts. Let me finish off this tweet by David Sachs. The framers' vision for American democracy was citizen leaders who would return back to their communities and businesses, not permanent rule by a corrupt party apparatus that undemocratically swaps out front men like avatars in a video game. There is only one way to restore true democracy, as the founders intended it. Vote out this entire pack of liars in November. All the way down. All the way down to your city's dog catcher. Look at every single person on the ballot. City clerk, city attorney, dog catcher, and then just work your way down and up that ballot and just get them all out. Remember, they wouldn't let you see your parents or grandparents in a hospital. In certain areas, they wouldn't let you go to the beach. What do you mean? I'm in the open air by the ocean. How in the hell am I going to get to see? How am I going to get this thing? Well, hey, sorry. Also, if you don't get this experimental thing, you can't go to work. What? Remember, do not forget, don't take your foot off the gas. This is the time to stomp these people out. No mercy, no mercy. Take no prisoners, expect no mercy. That's how the attitude we have to take. I know as Christians, we're like, well, we're supposed to. No, I need you to be righteously angry. I need you to be Jesus in the temple type angry from now until November 6th, the day after. Don't take any prisoners. Don't show any mercy. Take these people down. And you know why? Because that's what they want to do to you. That's specifically what they want to do to you. They are not going to give you any mercy, and so they don't deserve any either. If you've watched my videos, you know that I've often referred to my dad came from Jamaica. He was an immigrant. He came the right way. And then he worked and busted his hump here in America to build a business. What you may not know is that he was so proud of America, he joined the Army. He even talked my brother into going to West Point. I didn't go that route myself. Didn't want to join the Army. But I always listened to him. One of the things he used to say is that America did so much for him that he wanted to protect it and protect the American way of life. And of course, he wanted to protect what he built. He worried specifically about times like we're living in today. So one of the lessons he told me was to protect yourself, son, and buy some gold. But I was too strong-headed, wanted to do my own thing, and I didn't listen. But as I grew older, I realized everything he said was right. So I bought gold to make sure my family was protected. Right now, I think all of us can see that America is in trouble. I'm sure, like me, you hope that Trump gets elected in November. However, you have to make sure you protect yourself now, just in case he doesn't. You definitely don't want to get caught flat-footed. Lear Capital can help you prepare for the uncertainty of tomorrow and the potential turmoil in America if Trump doesn't win. Lear Capital has had over $3 billion in trusted transactions. They have thousands of 5-star reviews and a 24-hour risk-free purchase guarantee. Lear Capital is the precious metal leader that you can trust. If you want to get protected and hedge what's going to be going on politically, give Lear Capital a call at 800-601-5430 or visit learberry.com. And by calling today, you may be eligible to pick up $15,000 in free bonus precious metals with a qualified purchase. Give Lear a call at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And we're back after that short pause for the cause to help pay some bills here. Let's take some comments thus far, see what you guys are thinking. That's really small. Barry, I'm being following you, and you really are a patriotic person. I am grateful for all you tell Americans people what is happening in the country. We love and thanks for your support of President Trump. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for watching. Terrorists for Puppet Joe, loyal Americans for Trump. That's exactly, yeah. Yes, it was. It was about a 3-inch. It was only one stair, just one stair, and he needed help down one stair. And the reason why I looked at it and said he needed maybe help down the stairs is because there was an optical illusion. If you look at that video, you see the white trim that goes out towards the podium. And he probably couldn't discern which one was a step and which one was just flat white. So I think the optical look of it really screwed him up, which is part and parcel of, the disease. Does Biden even know that he's president with his dementia? I don't know. I'm going to get into some more stuff here that I'm going to be showing you. And it's funny because I like to give you guys this information because there may be so many people who don't see the crap that, it's out there. It's a fire hose of information, and that fire hose of information, if you're not sifting through it and basically dodging the BS, it's very, very hard to see. But I'm going to show you guys something. What's up, SV? I've seen you. I hear you, brother. I've been there. Philippines, from the Philippines. Thank you very, very much. Tom says, Barry, have you read the statement that Lear requires you to accept even to just get their literature? No, I haven't. Didn't have to because they sent me all the literature. But when you say accept, are you talking about disclosures? Because basically anybody says before I send you anything, you have to agree to the terms and conditions. But what I will do is I will make sure to screenshot that, and I shall where is it? And I shall send it to them just so they know themselves what that's all about. But thank you. Okay, this one I like. If I'm Trump, I wouldn't debate again against Joe. No need to. Exactly right. As I said, and I think it was yesterday's video, is basically pull the starters off the field. You're going to be up by a bunch of points. At this point, there would be no benefit to Donald Trump by debating in September. No, none whatsoever, especially if it's Dementia Joe. Right now, what's the phrase when, I don't know who said it, but when I think it was Napoleon, when an enemy is defeating itself, let it keep going. Don't get in its way. Don't get in someone's way who's losing and doing stuff to themselves. End hypocrisy and protest and go viral, brother. Would you demand Hamas wore the available uniforms if it meant innocent Palestinians would get to live on? Dude, you want to get me shut down, don't you? You want me talking about something that inevitably would get you shut down here. Nope, can't happen. Trump should request to debate cackling Kamala. No. Not Trump, his vice president. Whoever his vice president is going to be, go ahead and can you imagine J.D. Vance or Ben Carson or Byron Donalds or any of these people? She wouldn't be able to stand a chance. It would be completely over. Yes, don't get in their way when they're losing. Where was that? My dad. Amanda says, my dad calls me a traitor because I'm voting for Trump. What should I tell him? All right, that's a good one. Ask him to define traitor. That's the first thing you have to do. Or maybe you should, go to Merriam-Webster and cut it down. Ask him to define traitor. And then say to him, can you show me, I don't want any hearing, I'm not here for hearsay, can you show me anything that proves that Trump has done anything in regards to the definition of the word traitor? And then shut up. Don't say nothing after that. But nope. I'd like you to write down and give me citations of everything that Trump has done traitorous. Since you believe that he has just basically been a traitor, committed treason, it should be easy for you to cite for me specifically what he has done that's treasonous. And then shut up. That's where people get in trouble. They like to argue and go back and forth when I just asked you a question. You can't answer me? Well, let me know when you can, and then go on with your day. They can't. They want the argument. They want to feel as though they're superior over you and that they have more knowledge than you, but then when you ask for that knowledge because it doesn't exist, their argument falls apart. Real simple. You've watched Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson and some of these guys when they go to these man on the street things because it's easy. If you prepare yourself for the argument, you will win the argument. If you know in advance what you're going to say, because obviously you've had this conversation with your dad and he keeps saying, you're a traitor. Oh, wait a minute. You don't even have to go the Trump route. You said your dad calls you a traitor. So again, I would then say, here is the definition of a traitor. Show me, cite to me what I've done, in what instance I've done anything that proves that I'm a traitor. I'll be back from lunch later. Hopefully, good luck with your research. And just walk away. There's nothing he can say to you. He's insulting you. Yes, he's your dad. I know you love him. He still loves you. But he can't answer that question because he's been brainwashed. He's been bamboozled. He's been hoodwinked. He's been gaslit. And these people can never answer the question. None. Never. I can usually get a libnut to run away, block me, not answer, just by asking some simple questions. 1 or 2 or 3 questions. And it's it. They sound like Biden. There's nothing they can say. When you ask people to use their brains instead of their emotions, it shuts them down. You just have to be prepared with what to say to get them to force them to use their brains instead of their emotion. Because when you're topical and you're just like, I'm not, but what are you? You're just up here and you're fighting a battle on the level that they can compete with you. If you want to go for the knockout punch, go up here and say, okay, do me a favor. Here's the definition of traitor. I want you to go ahead and cite me specifically what I have done on this list that qualifies me as being a traitor. I'll be back to you this afternoon, and just leave. You can tell I've had these kind of conversations with people. It's real simple. And then they just start going like this. Yeah, prove it. Tell me. Well, Trump lied 25 times in a debate. Okay. Name them. Show me the 25 lies. Go back and do the recording, watch the thing all over again, and script out the 25 lies that he told, and then come back to me. All right? Let me know. Hit me on a follow. I'll be back. They can't do it. Right now, you have to understand, the left's world is falling apart. They are in a quandary. Everything they know is a lie, an absolute lie. So, anyway, that's usually what I do. You should show clips of, where is that? Barry should show clips of Joe saying disgusting racist things on the Senate floor, then tell me how he gets even one black vote. Because the media, that's how. The media, like Amanda, I think was her name, they don't tell people like her father the truth. If people knew the stuff that Joe Biden said, he would, and it was hammered the way. I mean, how many times do we have to hear about Stormy, Karen McDougal, Access Hollywood tape? How many times have they played what Biden has said? Nope, they won't play it. So that's another good one. Hey, did you know this? Did you know, since you're allowed to go back 20 years, 30 years, because nothing anymore that you could have said, when people talk about the Central Park Five, well, Donald Trump tried to put those black kids in jail for something they didn't do in the Central Park Five. Yeah, he was wrong. Yeah. But did you know what somebody else said in 1980? No. Did you know what Joe Biden said in 1979? Because now we're talking about people going back in people's history, right? You want to know that someone has had a clean life since the time they had training wheels on their bicycle, right? That's the new rule. So let me show you this. Oh, you didn't know about that, did you? But you knew about the Central Park Five. Why? Because the media keeps talking about it. It's easy to come back to people, if you even want to do that, when you have information over emotion. So, let me get back here so you guys aren't here all night, although we could have a lot of fun. So, I like this tweet today. It says, it will be difficult for Joe Biden to withdraw from the race without resigning from the presidency. Bingo. Let me tell you why that's so important. As you saw, 72% of people don't want him to be president anymore. He does not have the mental capacity. He can't say to people, you know what, I'm not going to run for president again. Because at that point, people are going to say why, and Jill's going to say he's got to look out for his health. Well, you can't withdraw from one without withdrawing from the other. If you're not competent enough to stand trial, you shouldn't be president. Remember that. Remember Robert Hur. But if you're not competent to run for re-election, what the hell are you doing sitting in the White House? Yeah, we don't want you just occupying this space. We got work to do. We got to rebuild this country. We got to fix the shit that you've done. So, no, you just can't sit here. If you're going to leave, leave. Leave now. Kamala, step in. If he's mentally unfit to run, then it goes without saying he's mentally unfit to serve. That's the conundrum the Democrats are at this point. That's the conundrum that puppet masters like Obama or whoever are in right now. They have been boxed in. He's incompetent. He can't stand trial. Now he's incompetent and he's slurring his words and people are seeing it, but you're trying to tell us and wedge something in here and say, but he can be president. No, he can't. If this is the real reason why his administration is doubling down on his candidacy in the face of the Democratic Party and corporate media abandoning him. If he withdraws from the race next week, he'll likely resign from the presidency shortly after to allow time to issue pardons for Hunter and others. It's looking more and more feasible that Kamala Harris will be the president at some point this year, but not the candidate. I suspect a resignation from Biden in July, and he lists blah, 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 the rest of the thing. I don't have a crystal ball, not a soothsayer. I don't know what's going to happen, but what I can tell you, and I think I've told you more than one time, if they try to leapfrog Kamala Harris with Gavin Newsom or Hillary or anybody else other than probably Michelle Obama, all hell's going to break loose. Women are going to be pissed, and black women and black men are going to be pissed. You kept talking about DEI, right? There she is. There's your girl. Run with it. Yeah, that's what you got. But all of that aside, including the debate, this is what I think is probably the most damning. This is absolutely nuts. Biden's team new talking points. This is from Axios, a left-wing site. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., he's able to do the job. After that, he gets tired and screws up. This was actually from an aide speaking to the people at Axios. And what they said was that in the hours of 10 to 4, Biden is, quote, dependably engaged. Many of his public events are held within those hours. Outside that time range, or while traveling abroad, Biden is more likely to have verbal miscues and become fatigued. Some of the close-knit Biden aides who prepped him for the debate told confidence beforehand they were optimistic that he'd done well in their practice sessions, except it was after 4 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a part-time president. You remember the commercial, I forget which candidate ran it about Hillary, and said when the phone rings at 3 a.m., the hotline, you want to know if someone's ready there to answer it? I can tell you right now, your boy Joe ain't there. He checks out. He's got a window of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's it. Beyond that, forget about it. Ain't gonna happen. We have a part-time president, people. That's it. That's it. That's sick. So on Friday, he shows up in North Carolina at the rally up there, and he's screaming, and he's looking energetic, and people didn't realize that it was easy because he was reading a friggin' teleprompter. I don't have a teleprompter. I'm just talking to you. He couldn't. I have notes in terms of bullet points, what I want to cover. No problem with that. Boom. Bullet point number 1, bullet point number 2, insert commercial here, keep talking, go here. No problem. But he can't talk. He can't even function. How bad is it? You're going to love this one. Okay, so Biden used a teleprompter at a fundraiser. Are people awake yet? The President of the United States can't even speak off script to his own donors at a private home in East Hampton. And it was only a 5-minute talk. I'm going to tell you right now, you could basically do like a free role-playing thing with me and give me any topic, as I could probably do with you, and for 5 minutes you could talk without looking at a note. You can say, okay, how do you make spaghetti? And for 5 minutes, I could go on about how to make spaghetti. You could probably go on about 5 minutes on how to make spaghetti, even if you have to make it up. Joe Biden couldn't talk to people who were giving him money. Let me ask you a question. If you've ever lent anyone money, family member, friend, coworker, business, and they came to borrow money and said, hey, Fred, I'd like to borrow $1,000. With the $1,000, I will use this money to buy supplies and pipes and hammers and nails. I will pay you back in 30 days. How much trust would you have in that person? How would you feel about somebody who couldn't look you in the eye? Hey, John, I've got this great idea. I'm going to build chicken coops. And I need about $2,500 to build these chicken coops. And if you'd like, what I'd like to do is do some sort of split with you where you get 20% of my profits. But in addition to that, I'll pay you 10% interest over 6 months. And then I'll pay you back X amount of dollars. Is that something we could discuss? Versus, I need to borrow some money, and you have to read it. Well, you just found out that he had to use a teleprompter to ask for money. How sick and sad is that? And it's funny here, Anthony Scaramucci, who obviously isn't a big Trump supporter anymore, said, I went to President Biden's fundraiser in East Hampton, and I thought he did quite well reading the teleprompter today and meeting with people. That had to be tongue-in-cheek. He had to use a teleprompter. And then Mr. Potato said, he uses a teleprompter at a fundraiser? So what you have right now is even the media going, oh no, are you kidding me? He had to use a teleprompter at a fundraiser? I'm about to stroke a check for, I don't know, 500,000, 600, 900, million. And the guy can't look me in the eye? Who would you give money to that couldn't actually speak with you? Unless, of course, you were washing that money, when then it really wouldn't matter. You're just showing up to use it as a laundry facility, which could be possible as well. You just need to have your name that you gave a certain amount of money so it comes back to you in spades or whatever. But if it's a real person at someone's home in East Hampton, in the Hamptons and out there in Long Island, you're telling me you don't even have to talk to that person? Just read for 5 minutes, walk away and shuffle off, and you got your money? Man, that's really, really pretty sad. So before I go here, all right, so let me segue to the video portion of tonight's entertainment. So it's going to require me to put my ears back in. But I got like a couple videos for you, some short videos here, showing you a progression of what happened today and how the media completely imploded. Just let's check these out.
It is yet another extraordinary moment in the 2024 election cycle, with Democrats in a state of crisis after President Joe Biden delivered a disastrous debate performance that fueled voters' top concerns about his age and ability to serve another 4 years in office. Not since the first Nixon-Kennedy debate in 1960 has a debate had as much potential to shake up a presidential race.
Just so you guys know, this butt whooping that she's laying on him, this is MSNBC. This is the home field advantage, and they're starting to come out now and go, hey, this ain't right.
This morning, there is widespread panic within the Democratic Party and questions about whether the president should drop out of the race.
I think it was a disaster.
Okay, so these guys that are talking, I'm going to show you more about it. These are former Obama employees. That's John, I believe you say his name, Favreau, who was a speechwriter. And another guy next to him is a former Obama speechwriter. And listen to what these guys have to say.
I think it was like maybe the worst debate I've ever seen in my entire life.
I do think people feel like that we are confronting a crisis.
There were going to be discussion about whether he should continue.
At first it was shocking, then it was scary, then it was sad, and by the end it was absurd. It's the risk.
That was basically the 5 stages of grief that he went through. He didn't realize he was saying that, but basically, only one he didn't get to is acceptance, because he's not accepting it.
Riskiest path sticking with Joe Biden, or is the riskiest path saying we want someone else? And anybody who says that that is not a tough call right now is full of.
You notice something else? These are all kids. I mean, I'm calling them kids, but they're 20-somethings, early 30-somethings, and these were the people that they stuck in government. People who were wet behind the ears, more than likely play for, one of those teams, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. It's just crazy.
On Friday, in a stunning move, the New York Times editorial board called on President Biden to serve his country and drop out of the presidential race. NBC News has learned that President Biden is expected to address his campaign with his family at Camp David. That's according to 5 people familiar with the matter.
Okay. So what happened today when people found that out? They were screaming, "Oh, this has been planned for months. They had this on the calendar. It doesn't matter. I could have a dinner planned with my wife, and then I could decide my conversation about it is going to be something else." They were even taking, homage in the fact that, oh, it's okay. This was planned a long time ago. So they still decided they were going to talk about it.
And First Lady Jill Biden arrived there late last night to join their children and grandchildren in a trip planned before Thursday's debate. The campaign was always going to be a topic of conversation, but now undoubtedly Thursday's debate will be front and center. Senior advisor Anita Dunn addressed the matter on Saturday.
You all did not have any kind of conversations about, should Joe Biden drop out of this race? The conversation that we...
You believe her? First of all, you ask her a question that she's not going to answer. And she's just coming out here because her job at this point is a firefighter. She's out here to spray water on this dumpster fire.
Is, okay, what do we do next? Mm-hmm. Okay, that is, if there was one thing that we're about, it's, okay, Barack Obama said bad debates happen. We had a bad debate. What do we do next? And the president, above all, is focused on what do we do next? What do I need to go do?
So what you're saying, actually, what do we do next, is probably the actual words that happened in that meeting. Oh, God, what do we do next? We are in such a tailspin at this point. What do we do next? Because nothing has prepared you for what you're in right now. There is no political handbook that says clean up on aisle 3 after you've lied to the American public for 3 years. Doesn't exist in any of those binders that Caron Jean-Pierre is going to be able to pull out tomorrow. It isn't there. And so what do we do next was probably a question that they asked everybody in the room. But MSNBC wasn't done yet.
President Biden, who agreed to the earliest general election debate in modern political history, had one goal: to persuade voters who are skeptical about his age and fitness for office that he is up to serve another 4 years. Mr. Biden has consistently told voters, watch me.
They should play this. Okay, let me just tell you guys, Trump should play this next minute on a loop until Biden goes away. Listen to what he says here. If you haven't heard this before, it's amazing.
If I were to run, I think they're going to judge me on my vitality. Can I still run up the steps of Air Force Two? Am I still in good shape? Do I have all my faculties? Am I energetic?
No.
I think it's totally legitimate for people to ask those questions. This is for the voters to decide. Take a look. Look at me, see if I have the energy, see if I know what I'm talking about, and make their judgment. I think it's a legitimate thing to be concerned about anyone's age, including mine. I think it's totally legitimate. But I think the best way to make the judgment is to watch me.
Well, on Thursday night, voters watched the president deliver a halting performance.
Ouch.
At times appearing confused and repeatedly losing his train of thought.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Watch me. He should just take that segment from MSNBC and just play that on a loop. Hey, talking about my age is fair game. Whether or not I have the vitality, whether I can show that I still got it, watch me. And then just play what happened at the debate. Watch me. You asked us to watch you. And now it's coming back to bite you in the rear end. Tony Otto, where'd that go? Tony says, oh, Tony, thank you for the super chat. I have a bombshell story for you about Newsom. How do I get it to you? Oh, my email. Email should be down below. You can go ahead and email that to me. So, yeah, just watch him. Just watch him at this point. Delste, Adonis is pain. Yes, painful to watch. Definitely painful to watch. He kept saying it. So, you know what's painful to watch? I think I lost your other video chat, so I guess I'll listen to this one. I'm not sure what that means. So yeah, it is, Dan. That is a Trump campaign ad in the making. But watch what they did here, though. Now, after all that, they decide they're going to bring out Nancy, and Nancy's going to just come out to defend Dementia Joe. So if you haven't seen this one, make sure you don't have a beverage up near your mouth because you're probably going to throw up. Because one of the things you wouldn't want to do is to come out to defend a person with dementia with another person who seemingly has dementia. Ladies and gentlemen, this was on national TV this morning.
And, while he may be saying we're enablers, we see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency. My people are very much Biden, Kamala Harris, and this is an opportunity for Joe Biden to go out there and show he has the stamina and the rest. And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his connection, his thoughts do not go together.
You thought that was painful what Joe said. That was painful. I don't know how she got through that. I don't even know how she was able to go on television and basically say, and freeze up herself. That was at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I don't think she was drunk yet. And then she tried to turn it around and tell everybody, it's Trump who's got dementia. Those were her words. That's what they sent her out to defend Dementia Joe. They sent out what now may be Dementia Nancy to defend Dementia Joe. These people are sunk. I mean, absolutely sunk. And so then after she didn't work, they sent out James Clyburn, who again, I don't know, Clyburn's got to be up near 80-something years old, and he doesn't make any sense either. Listen to this stuff.
You say Democrats need to, quote, chill out. So are you saying you have absolutely no concerns about Joe Biden's ability not only to win in November, but to be the leader of the free world for the next 4 years?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I do not believe that Joe Biden has a problem leading for the next 4 years because he's done a great job of leading for the last 3 and
He's done a great job leading for the last 3 years. He actually said those words, and he continues, where these people are completely obtuse. They have no idea, none. They're just looking in the camera. At this point, they are flailing and they are lying.
Half years. I always say that the best predictor of future behavior is past performance.
Ooh.
And when we look at the past performance of these two men that are the front runners in their parties, we get a lot of indication about what their future behavior would be.
Okay, let's go with what he just said. He believes that past performance is indicative of future performance. And he thinks things have been going fantastic under Dementia Joe. I don't think these people have a grasp on reality. They don't shop for their own groceries. They don't pay for their own gas. They don't pay for their own rent. They don't pay for their mortgage. They probably don't pay for air travel and things of that nature. They obviously don't pay much of taxes. Yet he says past performance is indicative of future performance. Are you telling me that the fact that we've had 11, 12, 15 million newcomers come to America, that we can say that's indicative of future performance? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Clyburn? Of course, Dana Bash didn't ask him that because, past performance. And you want to compare the two guys. How many people came across the border when Trump was president? And if that's indicative of future performance, I'm all for that. If past performance is indicative of future performance and gas was $1.80 and it's $4 or $5 and $6 now, Trump wins there. If grocery prices were 30% lower, Trump wins there. But you're saying that all these prices being more expensive, which is indicative of past performance of Joe Biden, is also a prediction of future performance. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll pass. I'll take the 0 on that. That's what you came out today on a Sunday show and told people, probably some of the biggest audiences that the shows have ever had. You're telling people, yeah, Joe's doing fine. And just so you know, his past... Oops, excuse me. My dog's barking. Let me go ahead and play that and turn the microphone out. Listen to this.
So Joe Biden should continue to run on this record. I do believe that we will find him, when contrasted with the record of the 4 years of Trump, to be exactly what we need going forward, not just domestically, but internationally as well.
Wait.
What about his performance?
Wait. Not just domestically, but internationally as well. So we had our DoorDash guy come. Dog doesn't like that when people come to the house. So you're saying he's done fantastic internationally. So you're okay. Past performance is indicative of future performance. Your words, not mine. And you're saying that it's okay that we spent $1 gazillion in that country over there where nobody can really find on a map. And that's where you want to go. And that's a measure of success. That's something you want to brag about. Past performance is indicative of future performance. That should be a Trump ad right there. Hey, the Democrats are telling you everything they're doing right now, they're going to continue doing. Get it? Hey, everybody. I know most of you, overwhelming amount of you, don't want to see boys playing in girls' sports. But guess what? My past performance is indicative of what you're going to get. That's what James Clyburn just said. Really? Yeah. So all the prices, all the inflation, all the wars across the Middle East and over in that other area, all the newcomers, all the transformers, that's indicative of the future performance you can expect with Joe Biden, and that's a plus? Did you really? She didn't ask him. I'd have been like, oh, hey, James, we need to talk, bro. Brother man, understand what you're saying. You're saying that everything he's done in the past is what we can expect in the future. Are you being paid by Trump? Did you all of a sudden become a Trump spokesperson? Because damn, bro. Damn.
Thursday, though, sir. Do you understand why some Democrats, some independents who were not that interested in voting for Donald Trump and were considering voting for Joe Biden said...
Were considering. You know, she said that. Listen to the words they say out their mouth. They were considering. She's already seen the data that people are starting to move. They were, not are, were.
Look at that and say, I just don't see it. I don't want to vote for him. What do you say to them?
I would say to them, take into account the record. Yes, it was a bad performance. I've been around these things. I've been a part of the...
He went right back to it. Take into account the record. Oh, you mean we should be voting for Joe because his record is so good? Okay. Are you going to tell us more about this record?
debate preparation before, and I know what when I see what I call preparation overload. And that's exactly what was going on the other night. I saw Joe Biden grabbing for words and phrases and even numbers that he was loaded up with.
Stop. You realize what this guy's saying? He was over-prepped. He had too much in his head. There was too much for Dementia Joe to remember. They overloaded him. He actually said that on national television. He sat there looking like he's got to go to the bathroom, like his depends are wet, and said that the president of the United States was overloaded with information. Does that not just make you cringe a little bit that they brought out Nancy and this guy and they both completely pooped the bed on national television to the point where Dana Bash, let me see if I can cut it into it and freeze. I want to show you her face.
The next.
Okay. She just has this look at her on her face right now like, I can't friggin' believe these people are saying this stuff. I can't believe this is what they came out with. I can't believe that they didn't come into this studio going, it was a mistake, it was a bad day, and we're going to fix it. And, what we want people to look forward to is a better 2025. We're going to make sure these prices, nope, what you see is what you get, and we're going to do more of it. You sure? You want to tell everybody that? Yeah, you're going to get more of what we've been doing because past performance is indicative of future performance.
Day, he gets to North Carolina, he's freewheeling, and he captivated the audience. And that's what we should do. Debate preparation can be tough, but you got to really do a good job of preparing the candidate, not just with information, but with style, with deflection, and the kinds of things that we did not see in Joe Biden the other night and saw it 4 years ago.
I believe on Friday in North Carolina, he had a teleprompter, but...
Oh, boom! Oh, she was sitting on that. Oh, gut punch. Oh, he was energetic on Friday in North Carolina. It was a completely different Joe. And what you saw there was somebody, who wasn't overloaded. And she's like, he had a teleprompter, right? Doomsday scenario. Absolute doomsday scenario for these idiots. Oh, my God.
I want to ask about something that you mentioned late last week, which is that you intended to have a conversation with the president. Did you talk to him? And if so, was there any discussion at all about him stepping aside?
I have not talked to the president since Friday. And if he asks my opinion, I will give it, as I always do. And that is very clearly, he should stay in this race. He should demonstrate it going forward.
He should demonstrate what going forward? Tongue-tied and twisted. All right? He should demonstrate what going forward? That he's not a vegetable? We've already seen it. You're not helping his case here. You're not trying to tell us what is going to happen differently.
His capacity to lead the country, and I think the American people are demonstrating that. If we're going to have another debate,
catch that. I like to focus on words. Some people don't like that I stop things so often, but when I hear things important, I just don't want them to slide by. What he said was, if we're going to have another debate, those were his words. It's already scheduled for September. No, there is another debate. He just said, and he's Biden's closest confidant, that's what the setup was, and he said, if there's another debate. Well, if you haven't talked to Joe about anything, why would there be any if about the second debate? As far as you know, right now, there is a debate scheduled in September. The second debate is scheduled for September on ABC. We all know this. What do you mean if? These reporters make me pissed off because they don't think, or they're told don't think. I'd have been all over that. Whoa, hey, bro. What do you mean if? Is there a question now whether Dementia Joe wants to have a second debate? Forget about whether or not Trump. You talked to Joe, but you say you haven't talked to him. So why would there be an if all of a sudden? Yeah, these people are terrified.
The preparation for that debate needs to be different. There's no question in my mind. We cannot overload the candidate.
Now good. Now she's coming back. Should there be another debate?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. What do you mean? It's already scheduled. Oh, so you guys caught that. She caught it. If there's another debate. She came back. Should there be another debate? What was his answer? Not affirmative. Not say, he didn't say yes. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What, you realize you just put more doubt into the American people's minds. You just told people if there's another debate and you don't know if there should be one.
I think that Joe Biden will do well with the debate. I think it all depends upon what the rules are. I don't like the...
Does this guy not know that Dementia Joe picked the rules? That they said no audience? That they said no microphone muting? That he picked the moderators? They probably picked the damn questions. Does he not realize everything that they did to determine how this debate would be? And now he's saying, hey man, I think we need to change format.
But nobody will do any fact checking. You just say what you want to say. You know it's a lie. The guy told 30 some odd lies and nobody checked him on it and said that was up to Joe Biden to do. I'm not too sure. If I ask you a question and you lie to me with the answer, I ought to follow up.
You could follow it. Joe could have followed up. There was no stopping Joe from saying, hey, Trump, I think that what you just said isn't true. So you're telling me, and what he just told the American people, and every single one of you, he just says, the moderator needs to do the work. What do you mean? I didn't make that up. He said that. Y'all need to be doing this fact checking to help Joe out. You can't expect Joe to understand how to come back quickly with a retort. The dude's 81 years old. He's got dementia. Y'all need to help him out. We can't have debates where he's got to think.
And give you what the facts are and see what your reaction to that will be. So that, to me, was not the way to plan the debate. And whoever did that or agreed to that really should think about what they're doing.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was a debate agreed to by President Biden first, who proposed.
Oh, God, she was nice about it, but she threw 2 gut punches at him. I don't know who it was that came up with the idea for this debate. It was crazy. And I don't know who agreed to it. But you just said you're Joe's closest friend. You don't know that the Dementia Joe team put together the rules and coordinated with CNN, and it was their idea. Basically, they thought they were going to get Trump. Trump didn't come up with the rules. They sent the rules. We all saw it. We all saw it come out, the list in the letter. And now you're telling the American people, as you come out there to defend Dementia Joe, that, hey, man, these rules suck. I don't know what you were thinking, but, next time, and he actually said, whoever agreed to these rules didn't know what they were doing. Okay, now we know from your own words, your lips to God ears, that the Dementia Joe team doesn't know what they're doing. Wow. This thing is a free fall. It's just like I said, a festering boil running around. And I wanted to play these things for you because nobody else is going to show this stuff to you. Unless you're sitting in front of the TV or recording stuff and then editing it down. I'm sitting here editing this afternoon. And I'm going through this stuff going, you've got to be effing kidding me. This is who you wanted to defend, Joe? Dementia Nancy? And old Clarence here? Old Joe Clarence Clyburn? Damn. That's all I can say. Like Will Smith. Damn. That was crazy. James Smith says, hell, do they need to have Joe stand at the... where'd that go? Where's James? James had a good one here. Click that. Okay. For some reason, James, yours didn't come through. Monkey Man, is yours coming through? Okay. James, I didn't see yours. Something happened. Barry Man sending you love from... We want your Trump here for our own home from destruction. Where are you, brother? Where is that? We need term... Yeah, that's indicative of it. We need term limits for these ignorant people. Patty, yep, absolute dumpster fire. It was. It's crazy. What's next? Obama? I don't think anyone of any credence wants to step into this. I mean, think about it. You're coming out the bullpen and it's 13-1 with two outs left. Well, no, maybe 1 out left in the 9th inning. It's 13-1. It's nothing I can do at this point. Hey, man, we're going to have you go ahead and pinch hit. For what? We're never going to come back at this point. I don't think people who have legacies, whether you like them or not, are going to want to step into this dumpster fire. Yes, Chadwick, you are absolutely right. I covered that earlier, that they indeed have basically gone past the dates in some of this. And so what you're going to see is this is going to evolve in a continuing, ongoing, burning thing going down the road. There's no way for it to come back. Just understand that. And tomorrow, God willing, the Supreme Court give Trump another bump. It's over. It's already over. His tongue was sticking out a little bit. Yeah, they're stuck with Biden, and they know they're stuck with Biden. So let me continue with a couple more that might just make you. So this video was after Nancy and Clyburn got off. Dana Bash had a roundtable come out, and this roundtable had one former Obama employee. And then they had also a Obama wannabe, and they have a pollster, and then one former Republican. Listen to this stuff.
What is the reality of what is now happening behind the scenes?
Well, I think the reality is the race has not fundamentally changed. I think there's universal agreement. It wasn't a great night for Joe Biden. He said as much. I think for Biden now, the task is to go out, do what he did in North Carolina, show that energy.
That was a teleprompter. They're skipping Thursday, going right to Friday, going show the energy until he has to get in front of a camera and actually answer questions. Wait till the next press conference, if he has another press conference.
That it was just one bad night. Every campaign recovers from one bad night.
Look, if you have a fight with your boyfriend, you don't get over it in one night. You get mad for a couple of days, and I think that's what's happened in the Democratic Party. Joe Biden had a bad night on debate night, and I don't...
It wasn't a bad night. It's an irreparable disease. That's what they keep trying to think, and that, what's his name? Romney beat Obama. His punch, his counterpunch. It wasn't the same. That's not what this is. As I titled this, it's not just one bad night. It's an irrecoverable disease that everybody can actually see right now. None of them want to address that. No, I watched almost every single show. Nobody wants to address that elephant. Hey, listen, this isn't something you can fix. It's not going away. What are you going to do about Joe's dementia? They didn't even mention the word today.
I think it's wrong to, and I don't think this is what Kate is doing, but I don't think it's wrong to disparage people who are concerned after that debate. Because the ultimate underlying issue with their concern is that they really want to beat Donald Trump. And they know the threat that Donald Trump plays.
Again, Dana didn't answer that question, or that matzo ball that she hung up out there. What's the threat that these people keep talking about? Other than to the Democratic Party. What is the threat, the ongoing threat that Donald Trump poses to democracy, to Americans? I don't know. You know? I don't know. What job is it? I like what the patriotic troll said. Their job is not to address it. That's exactly correct. Their job is to gaslight you.
I will say, though, the folks who are saying that Joe Biden should drop out of the race are not the people that actually will be determinative of the outcome of the election. I think the debate was actually more of a couch pusher than a candidate switcher. I don't think people watched that debate and said, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden anymore. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
What?
You are our pollster here. What are you hearing?
The idea that this is just one bad night, that voters are going to be asked not to believe what they saw with their own eyes on Thursday is incomprehensible to me.
I love the image here of the black lady who just said it's no big deal, and now the white pollster is like, Jane, you ignorant, you know what? I do this for a living. I'm a pollster. I ask people what they think, and you're screwed.
The fact of the matter is, in January, Pew Research Center found only 29% of Americans thought that Joe Biden had the mental acuity to be president.
Yeah, I think you can't wish it away. I think you can't call it a bad night. I don't think you can compare it to anybody's previous bad debate performances. It's unlike anything we've ever seen in presidential campaigns. The deterioration of Joe Biden over 4 years is painfully obvious to everyone. Mm-hmm. To me, it really goes beyond the campaign. I mean, there's reporting this morning about from Axios about Joe Biden's closest aides working very hard to shield access to him from virtually everyone.
And that's the article I showed you earlier, that from 10 to 4, that's it. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., other than that, nobody sees him.
Over the last 3.5 years, I think people don't really just have questions about the campaign today. I think they have questions about how the White House is running right now. I think they have questions about whether he can do the job today, let alone for 4 more years.
Right.
And guys, I'm old enough to remember when Donald Trump, was having trouble picking up a glass of water and walking down a slippery ramp, and folks were wanting to invoke the 25th Amendment. To me, what we saw Thursday night, he's not just a candidate; he's the president.
Bingo. None of the lefties, none of them want to talk about that. Forget the fact of him not continuing to run as a candidate. How is he functioning as the president? That's the conversation that now needs to begin taking place, that now needs to shift. Forget the election's done. Forget it. He's not going to be your candidate. I don't care. How is he still our president? At this point, Trump needs to begin hammering that after a couple of days. I guarantee you, probably after tomorrow. If the Supreme Court rules in his favor, then you come out swinging, saying, I'm not worried about Dementia Joe running for president. We're pretty much, that's settled. That ain't going to happen. Now we need to get him out of the White House. He needs to be removed out of the White House. If none of you guys are going to do the 25th Amendment, that's on you. That's on each one of you. And every single one of those down ballot races needs to begin calling out senators and people in the House and going, you're okay with leaving a guy who's incompetent to stand trial, too incompetent to run for re-election, but you want to leave him in as president, knowing that 72% of Americans want him gone now. Not 3 months from now. Now. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to deflect that uproar? Because right now, people are getting the pitchforks and torches ready. It's June. Basically tomorrow it's July. How are you going to continue having this guy as president? How is he going to do anything internationally? People from other countries are like, I don't need to talk to you. Maybe I need to talk to Kamala, but you're done. We don't want to have anything to do with you. We're not negotiating with you. We've seen what's going on in your country at this point. You are the president right now, and something needs to happen. And this guy had the cojones to basically say that. And I was shocked that nobody wanted to answer that.
Right now. And so a lot of people I talk to want to know, what's going on in there, and is he up to the task today?
Actually, Today. That is now the question. I want all of you to understand that. The question is no longer who is Trump going to be running against. That will work itself out. He's done. He's not going to be, can't be the candidate. Let them figure that out. Let them figure out how they're going to work it for some of those states. It's too late to change. The conversation as of July 1st tomorrow needs to be, how the frig is this guy still sitting in the Oval Office? every single campaign stop Trump makes, every appearance anybody makes on television, everybody needs to begin talking right now and saying, this guy needs to get out of the Oval Office. He needs to just take a hike and keep hammering that and convincing people is if you're too incompetent to stand trial and you're too incompetent to run for re-election, how in the hell are you still in the Oval Office? I'm sorry, I'm passionate about it, but I think everybody out there is missing the real question we need to be asking people. How is this guy still the president? How is this cheating media still in place? Your wife, your husband goes out and sleeps with another person and they come back and get right back in bed with you? Hell no. No, that ain't happening. Trust is gone. You're not in my bed anymore. I don't want nothing to do with you. 72% of Americans said, be gone. Go away. You're toast. And nobody's talking about that. Forget the election. That is down the road. You guys figure that out. Right now, this guy needs to hit the highway. I don't care what you got to do. Call the U-Haul, move his shit out. He's got to go. And that's what the focus a lot of my videos are going to be about, is get out now. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Get out. Go to, Sleepy Hollow, whatever place Jill wants to put you in. But at this point, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. That's what I think. So let me continue with this.
To talk about part of the Biden campaign memo that came out that talked about the structure and the sort of logistics, pushing back on the notion that you could even replace President Biden or how hard it would be. It said if he were to drop out, it would lead to weeks of chaos, internal food fighting, and a bunch of candidates who limp into a brutal floor fight at the convention, all while Donald Trump has time to speak to American voters uncontested.
They sent this memo out. Now understand, we're not talking about a 7-Eleven. We're not talking about a construction company. We're not talking about a mom and pop operation. We're talking about the presidency. And that's the memo you send out? If we were to drop out, it would be weeks of chaos, internal food fighting. What? And a bunch of candidates who limp into a brutal floor fight at the convention. You can't throw us out because if you throw us out, shit's going to hit the fan. Shit's hitting the fan right now, buddy. It's going to continue hitting the fan. You might as well basically cut your losses. Food fight? You think I give a shit about you having a food fight internally? This is what you put out to the American people, to the other politicians? If you boot us, what's going to happen is you're going to see an internal food fight. Hey, listen, I watched Animal House. Forget about it. This is like a 12-year-old wrote this. You can't do this to me. I'm going to go pout. I'm going to have a food fight, and it's going to be chaos, and then it's going to be kung fu fighting at the convention. These people have lost it. I mean, absolutely lost it.
All of that would be in service of a nominee who would go into a general election in the weakest possible position with $0 in their bank account. You want a highway to losing? It's that.
You got to keep us. If you don't keep us in place and protect us, you're not going to have any of this campaign money. You're not going to have any of these delegates. It's on the highway to losing. Highway? Someone needs to tell these people they're on the express lane to losing right now. The complete ignorance of the people in the Democrat Party is astounding. As I was putting this show together, I was like, asked my wife, do I need to put all these videos in? She's like, no one will believe you if you don't. You wouldn't unless you saw this stuff. And I came out here tonight. Imagine this, okay? Imagine this. I came on today and I said, listen, the Biden campaign said if you get rid of them, there's going to be all kinds of food fighting and internal chaos and kung fu fighting on the convention floor. You would not believe me. you would have said, Barry, you're making it up. Your euphemisms that you're saying, I understand you're embellishing. No. Jim Clyburn came on and said past performance is indicative of future performance, like it's something good. Nancy came on and said, stuttered and froze, and then said, Trump's got dementia. I couldn't have made this up. As I'm sitting here spending Sunday cutting this stuff, going, oh my God, this is just incredible. I hope people share this. I know it's long. We're an hour and a half in, and I'm like, this is just insane. This is America. This is the country I love. This country I grew up in. The country that my parents came. My father came here. This doesn't make any sense. Let's continue with these. I've got two more.
I mean, it's not a bad argument at all.
Do you agree with it?
It's not a bad argument. Are we surrounded by millennials and Gen X's and Z's who have no life experience at all? You think that was a good idea to put out a memo that the world will see talking about food fighting, chaos, you ain't gonna have our money, and kung fu fighting at the convention if you get rid of us? That's what you professionally told the world. And you just went on CNN and went, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I do think it will be very hard to put somebody else on the top of the ticket now. I think that Joe Biden is our nominee.
We're not talking about the ticket. We're talking about the presidency. Get him out. And you're still talking about hopefully having him run. What do you think he's going to look like by the end of July?
I think Joe Biden can still beat Donald Trump. I am not saying this as someone just because I worked for Joe Biden. I am saying this as someone after Thursday night. I looked for every voter I could possibly talk to that we need to turn out.
Did you hear what she just said? She's black. I'm black. It astonishes me the stupidity that people will say on a national televised show. I looked for every voter I could possibly look for. Those were her words. After the debate, I looked for every possible voter I could possibly look for. And they all said they're still going to vote for Joe Biden. You mean the 10 people you talked to? You mean your Uber driver? Your room service guy? The hotel clerk, the 10 people, the 15 people you talked to, that's what you just told us on national television? That everyone I talked to said they're still voting for Joe Biden. She said that on a television network on a Sunday show.
Some voters that were not even super excited about Joe Biden, and they're like, look, I'm still voting for Joe.
You have made an interesting argument this morning, which is that the entire reason Joe Biden remains viable is because all of your people hate Donald Trump. That's the core argument of the campaign. If that's true, why can't any person stand in there for that argument?
Checkmate. The only criteria you have for a candidate is that they hate Donald Trump. That's it. You're breathing. You can maybe sometimes put a sentence together, and you have to hate Donald Trump. That's your criteria.
All you're really arguing is how dangerous Trump is. Why wouldn't you put someone in who's got the mental acuity to do the job, who also isn't named Donald Trump?
But I have said the whole time, a year ago, 2 years ago, I have said whoever wants to run for the Democratic nomination should be able to run for the Democratic nomination. This is not a change point for me. It's that we need to beat Donald Trump.
That's it. That's all I care about. Why? Why is it so important to simply beat Donald Trump? They never say, we'd like to do this for the country, we'd like to do that for the country, we'd like to see this happen for these people. Oh, we just got to beat Donald Trump. Orange man bad. That's the state. I watched a video on YouTube today, and it's amazing those that said that. Yeah, it's crazy. Share this one. How can they get rid of Joe without defranchising millions of voters? They've already disenfranchised them. They've lied to them. Understand, 72% of people want him gone. That's over the margin of party. 72% and growing. I'm sure by Wednesday or Thursday, it's probably going to be at 75, 76. It's not going to get better. This isn't a game where you can hope to throw a Hail Mary in the fourth quarter that your quarterback can reach somebody in the end zone. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. I used to do football videos before I started doing political videos, and I had a problem with a lot of Dolphins fans because I don't think that Tua Tagovailoa is as good a quarterback as they need to make to the Super Bowl. But he could improve. He could be a better quarterback. There is opportunity for him to get better and take a team to the Super Bowl. So right now, you would want to, if you're a fan of his, stick with him. Hopefully he'll get better. Hopefully he'll throw enough touchdowns and yards and get the team into the Super Bowl. There's a chance, a good chance, that that could happen. The development of a football player can continue to basically optimize to make him a better player, get faster, stronger, etc. Dementia Joe is on a downward slope. There is no getting better from dementia. None. There's no brakes. We're on a tractor trailer heading down someplace in the Smoky Mountains with no brakes. And so when you're asking the question, what happens if they disenfranchise their voters? They're already disenfranchised. This guy's not going to make it. The problem, the question that you should ask, and here's the actual question, is how long can they continue to lie to the voters that to let them think he has the ability to move forward? That's what they're doing. They've already disenfranchised him. Now they're hanging on to him. And in order to hang on to him, they basically, at this point, have to lie to him. Keep going. Hey, Antonio, how you doing, brother? According to Charlie Kirk, there are some states it's too late to change candidates according to their voting laws. Yes, I went over that yesterday. Those states are Wisconsin, Nevada, and soon to be Georgia. I believe Georgia have like 2 or 3 more weeks. But Wisconsin, done. Nevada, done. And they're starting to line up like dominoes, and so they're in a pickle. So when Charlie Kirk and some other people looked at it legally, again, that's legally. Who knows what these guys will try to do and go into courts and try to get the laws changed so that they can add somebody. Don't think that's not coming. Don't think that they're not going to do everything they possibly can to get the laws changed to allow somebody else to run. Otherwise, it's already over. It's over with Dementia Joe. Count on it. So, if you bring somebody else in, the only way they can even have a chance at winning is if you change some of the laws in these other states. There's nothing else. So, the scary part is that Dementia Joe is still president, and who knows what he can sign and do in the next 7 months. That's the problem. So, that's crazy. Like they changed the voting laws in 2020, said, yeah, Big Cat says laws don't matter to them. And they, obviously, you can't give away you can't give away student loans. Supreme Court says no. Biden does it anyway. Why? They know it takes time to go through the court system. But see, this is where they're getting really in a precarious situation. Unless the Wisconsin legislature would come back in and change the laws. They could. They could have an emergency session and say, hey, listen, we got to amend this, and there'd be probably enough rhinos to go along with it. They could do it in Nevada if enough people, if the state legislatures are willing to prostitute themselves and change the law, yeah, you could probably do it. But other than that, you can't sue your way on it. It's a state law. There's no way it's going to be overcome. You just can't do it. They made a mockery of the U.S. presidential debate doing what they did. They sure did, and it's all their fault. Congress. The question is now, who in their right mind would vote for anyone other than Trump? Good question. Absolutely good question. you'd have to be involved in some sort of sadomasochistic insanity. Or you could just hate Republicans and hate America so much that you really don't care, which is probably what they would do. I mean, there's enough people out there that would still, they're going to give them 15, 20, 25% no matter what, because they hate America, the AOCs of the world. They can't see Republic. If what I think is going to happen happens, the Democratic Party may be done for a long, long time. You're going to see people like Schumer, people scrambling, because what happens if New Jersey flips? What happens if Virginia flips? What happens if New York flips? See, they're counting on, right now, there are so many holes that the Dems have to worry about, and they have to keep the ones that are in place, when it's like, oh shit, what do we do? Do I still have that? Yeah, so let me just give you an example. Let me put this back up real quick, okay? So, just to give you an idea, the new data came out for some of you guys that may have been late, and all of those states, possibly swing states, are, that is as of today, the polling. Pennsylvania, he's losing, or we're winning. Michigan, we're winning. Wisconsin, we're winning. Georgia, we're winning. All of them, the Republicans, Trump, are winning. There is no possible way that the Democrats can win this election if Pennsylvania and Wisconsin go away. There's no possible way they can win if Michigan and Wisconsin. There are too many things. And what's not on here is New Jersey isn't even on here, and Trump is up by 1. So right now there's panic at the disco. It's absolutely nuts right now in terms of all the stuff that they're going to have to defend. And now you're going to do it with a candidate who's less than healthy, who's on an irreparable decline. Good luck with that. All right, so I showed you a snippet of those guys talking, the former Obama speechwriters. Listen to what happens at this. This is the expanded version of what those guys were saying.
A contested Democratic convention, which has not happened since 1968. I was just talking about the biggest challenge in this election is attention. We'll get more attention, more media attention than anything that has happened in politics in a decade. And Donald Trump will be yapping away, posting on Truth Social, and the attention of the rest of the country will be on the diverse array of Democratic candidates that are at that convention.
But it won't matter. See, they're hoping at this point, and these guys are tied in with Obama, they're hoping at this point that, and they're already planning to go to a brokered convention. A brokered convention is when they get into the convention and they say, basically, all bets are off, and we're going to just pick somebody. We're going to invalidate all you primary voters. Sorry, we 1,000, 2,000 delegates, whoever's here, we're going to pick who's going to be the nominee. Not you guys, not anymore. The problem is, like that last gentleman or woman said about the law in these states, is that by then, you're not going to be able to get on the ballot legally. Yes, they will send an army of lawyers to try and fix that, but as of the day that they try it, you won't be on the ballot. And then, at this point, you don't even know who'd end up being picked. It could be a nightmare scenario, and then you've only got a couple months to run. You're hoping things would get better. But that's what these guys are pushing for now. They're pushing to get Biden whacked.
To Georgia, I've been to Michigan recently. Every single brown person I met, people who voted Democrat all their lives, say we're not voting Democratic.
What I said. Every single brown person. He didn't mention black. That's one of the talk show hosts on MSNBC. And they said we're not voting Democrats. It's over.
We want to punish Biden. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you that is what people are saying. I dare you to ask all those people to vote again this morning after what they watched last night.
I dare you to ask all these people to vote for Biden after what they saw in that debate. See, the most of the people on television are not being honest with everybody. They hear all this. They know the chatter. It's like, you guys are screwed. You're done. We just watched this guy eat his tongue for 2 hours on Thursday night and have no clue of what things were going on. We're not voting for him.
Just not the same thing. We're in a very different place. People saw the car crash.
People saw the car crash. Think of the size of the audience that watched that debate versus who might see snippets of Joe Biden rallies from here on out. Snippets. And they're in a quandary there because they can't put him out on television too much more. I mean, they may try, basically some sort of choreographed interviews, but people will see it, man. It's staged, it's filmed, it's pre-recorded. We don't know how many cuts you made to get him through the interview. You had a chance. You were on the biggest stage, the biggest possible stage, and now your only opportunity to get people back in the fold is to lie to them.
In front of their eyes.
I understand that. The biggest challenge in this race has been to capture people's attention in a very fractured media environment. There are now no more opportunities because the one opportunity when 50 million Americans tuned in, Joe Biden did not show up.
Bingo. Bingo. Again, that's why I'm saying it's over.
The party does not have a problem with Democrats. It has a problem with Joe Biden. That's what people are trying to tell us right now. And a convention would be, look, a convention is risky. It is definitely risky. We could end up with a candidate, like Dan said, who then goes through the ringer of the next couple months, and we'll all sit back and be like, oh, this was worse. This was worse than Joe Biden.
Yeah, also imagine this candidate, whoever he or she may be, in the hypothetical change out at a convention. When are you going to vet this person? You understand at this point, you saw what they did to Trump. Now imagine whoever they basically put in better be squeaky clean. I mean, when they walk, squeak. Because the littlest of problem that these person, don't put Buttigieg in there. Don't do it. Don't put Pete Buttigieg in there. Kamala, yeah, she can't do it either. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think Gavin and some of these people are going to want to get in at the last minute and risk their political careers to help out Dementia Joe. Yeah, but you'd be helping out the Democrat Party. Yeah, I'll be there in 2028. I don't want to get in bed with this stuff.
But this is democracy, right? All the candidates that are going to run will get to make speeches. There will be polls. Yes, the delegates will pick. Would it be better if voters picked? Yeah, of course. But that's not where we are right now.
Whoa. He just completely discounted all the voters in every state in America. That's not where we are right now. This guy's tied into Obama. He's tight with Obama. John Favreau. So this conversation is being had right now. Sorry, this isn't where we are anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry you guys voted. That ain't gonna work. At this point, we got to do what we got to do. Seriously? Aren't you guys the defenders of democracy? Democracy is on the ballot, and you just told a gazillion voters across the country who braved the rain, the snow, and all kinds of different things, cold, Big Tuesday, you just told all those people, sorry, but not sorry. Who wants to deliver that message? Who wants to be that person who tells all those people, all of your votes, mean nothing right now? All right, are we going to vote again? Nope, we don't need it. We're going to do it ourselves. What? Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to pick this person for you, and you're going to like it. He just said that's not where we are right now. Open mic in front of an audience and said, we're going to try and pick and eliminate all your votes.
We're in a situation where in just a couple months, Joe Biden could lose to someone who wants to end democracy, which we know because he tried to overturn democracy 4 years ago.
This guy just said in almost a 60-second span, we're going to take all your votes away from you. We're going to invalidate all of your primary votes And we're being the people protecting democracy. Meanwhile, that other orange guy tried to do something to your democracy by having these people overthrow the election. These people even hear what they say? You're actually overthrowing an election. You're doing it right now. That's what your plans are. Your plans are to overthrow the will of the people who voted for Joe Biden. And you are just openly saying, take it. And then you're going to expect those same people. And here's where the funny thing is. Even if you pick another candidate, even if you disenfranchise an entire group of primary voters, you're going to need those people to vote in the general election. Do you not realize it? So you're telling me, sorry, you don't matter right now. We're gonna have a meeting. We're throwing your vote out. We're gonna talk over here in the corner. We're gonna pick somebody. All right, now here's that person we picked. Go vote for him. As I've said, how obtuse are these people? How gaslit is their audience? That the media would then say, all right, we've picked John Smith, and John Smith is going to be the new candidate for president, and you need to go vote for him. But you just told me my vote doesn't count. That was before. Now we want you to go ahead and vote for this guy. But, sorry, you can't have Orange Man win because he's going to kill democracy. You mean like you just did? Panic, widespread panic in the disco going on right now.
That's where we are right now. So why not?
I'm sorry. I'm going to have
people,
to. Sir,
can I respond?
Yeah, can you mute his mic, please? I'm going to need to let them respond. I'm going to have to let them respond.
Speaking of overturning democracy, we have a process to pick our nominee. Mm-hmm. We had that. We went through that process. Anyone could have run. No one. Dean Phillips ran. Marianne Williamson ran. We all could have voted for them. We didn't. We voted for Joe Biden. And now, I'm trying to think of another person who, after an election is over, doesn't like the results, and then considers storming a meeting in which people are certifying the results of that election.
It's all a joke. It's a joke. They just sat there and laughed at all those people. Clapped. Seriously? That's where the Democratic Party is right now? Fortunately, excuse me, there are some sane people who are Democrats who are realizing at this point, it's over, it's done, forget about it.
Now, I don't want to show a lot of the tape from last night because it's too hard to look at. But just show this one thing. We picked out one thing. Just for people who don't watch, and they watch this show to catch up on the news, this is what the Republicans are going to show from now until Election Day.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. See that head? Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
You see the head, the way he turned that head? He wanted to. He knew the two-shot would be up there. He wanted to have his head turning like, let's watch the guy show how crazy he is. He's looking for it. Look, this election.
You're blaming that on Trump?
No. You're blaming that on Trump. Trump is astute enough to know where the cameras are, and he knows there's a camera pointing at him, and he knows there's a split screen, and he hears Mr. Babel going on over here, and he looks over at him and goes, of course he's going to do that, but it's not Trump's fault. It's Mr. Babel over here.
Oh, and I'm watching his theatrical ability. He is playing this.
Okay, but he didn't have to do anything. I mean, he came out. It reminded me of when Mike Tyson used to knock guys out in 90 seconds. Like, that was like 2 minutes into the debate, and I went, oh, this election is over. I mean, that was like a haymaker right away.
Look, I've watched the guy. He is so fast on the trigger. I watched him. He comes up with, he pulled out of Afghanistan in a disastrous way. That's true. He didn't fire anybody. He didn't fire Jake Tapper or any of the generals. That's all true.
Jake Tapper? Let him go.
Then he'll throw in, oh, by the way, illegal people can get Medicare and Social Security. No, they can't. He just throws in the lies. He mixes up the lies with some truth. Yeah, and Obama, I'm sorry, Biden is not smart enough to keep up with.
Freudian.
He just can't
Right.
keep up with them.
Well, isn't that the whole point?
Yeah.
You need a guy to keep up with them.
If I'm in a fight and I know the guy can't stop a hook, I'm going to hit the guy with the hook. And I know he can't respond. He's got one arm tied behind his back. Boom, I'm going to hit him upside the left side of his head. And Bill Maher was smart enough to go, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to get the guy in a position where he's discombobulated. It's not the media's position to try and help him. You know, as you heard Clyburn and now Chris Matthews and some of these other Democrats, they now saw that they picked the wrong format and they wanted the media to step in. Understand, you have a candidate so incapacitated that your only way of winning is to have the media participate in the takedown. You expected it, and then this debate, for some reason, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash stepped back, and they just let it happen. Who gave the order? I don't know. Don't know who gave the order. So with all that, some things happened today, and saw this. Is that according to the New York Times, mega donors, including Laureen Jobs and Ron Conway, were desperately urging Jill to change her mind and let Biden retire. Did they get through to the good doctor? Well, shortly after that, and this is important, I want you to look at this. This is Bill O'Reilly, former Fox commentator. He says he's got a Biden update from Bill O'Reilly. The decision has been made that the president will quit the campaign. 2 reasons. Democrat internal polling says he cannot recover from the debate, and fundraising is drying up. But what I want you to take a look at down here is the time. That happened at 12:53 in the afternoon today. So Bill O'Reilly was saying that that's it. They're going to basically cut it, and he's done. Not going to happen. Well, after that, where is the other one? Okay, I know where that is. Hopefully I can get this on here. Okay, let me just go here and pull this up. I got to put it in the middle here so you guys can see it. This came out late this evening, and it's from the New York Times. This came out, as you can see, I guess you can't see, but Biden's family tells him to keep fighting as they huddle at Camp David. President Biden is trying to figure out how to tamp down Democratic anxiety after last week's disastrous debate performance. Oh yeah, there is the time, 4:47 p.m. And Bill O'Reilly was at like 12:30. So this came out at about almost at 5 o'clock. And it said President Biden's family is urging him to stay in the race and keep fighting despite last week's debate performance. So, as of now, or actually as of 7 p.m. when I jumped on here, unless something has changed recently, they're going to keep going. They're going to keep moving. Jill is not pulling back. She is going full bore ahead with dragging Joe into the race, and hopefully he can make it. I don't know how it's going to work for him. People now see, are they going to get the media to just keep lying to people? Remember, this was the Drudge. Now they've added something. Ooh, since we talked earlier. Let me pull this up for you. Now it's in red. Those of you who were here at the start, that was just in black. Poll, 72% want him out. But look at the one on the bottom. There is now a Democrat path for dignified exit. Not really sure what that is. Let me check it before I put it on the screen. Maybe there's some new news here. Yes, there is. Wow, this is crazy. This just came out. This came out at this is 12:44. So it's before the New York Times article. So this is old news. Democrats creating path for Joe Biden to make a dignified exit. There is no dignified exit. The guy is going to get bounced out. Obviously, it's a big discussion right now, and it's only a matter of time before he's gone. Whew, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. We should vote tomorrow and get it over with. Are they negotiating for a bigger bribe payoff? Think about this. Maybe Dementia Joe is also waiting to hear the Supreme Court ruling tomorrow. Here's why. If the Supreme Court comes out tomorrow and says, nope, presidents don't have immunity, or presidents only have this much of an immunity, or presidents are fully immune, all kinds of different things that they may be looking for, that would apply to Dementia Joe and Jill. Because if Trump gets in, he's going to be able to just go balls to the wall and go back after everything Dementia Joe has done. Unless the Supreme Court tomorrow says, nah, you can't go after presidents for what they did. Who knows? So maybe they're waiting to see, hey, listen, let's go ahead and wait and see if they grant immunity. If they grant immunity, then I can't be messed with either. Not only can Trump not be messed with, I can't be messed with. So if I get the immunity, but if I pull out now, I may not get that immunity because who knows what the chess is being played behind the scenes. But I have to think that tomorrow's Supreme Court decision is weighing heavy on a lot of people's minds right now. Of course Trump, of course Biden, Merrick Garland, Jack Smith, Obama, Bill Clinton. I mean, think about how many people are sitting back going, what do we do? How are we going to get this immunity? And if Dementia Joe has to go, how many people is he going to have to pardon before he gets out? That list might look like a cookbook. James Comey, James Clapper, Hillary Clinton. How many people are going to say, you need to pardon me, bro? I stood up for you, and if this guy gets in, his people are going to come for me. Pardon me. This isn't easy. There is so much stuff that could happen if this guy gets out of the race and gets out of the presidency. So that question you said, what's the deal people are making? The big deal, I think, is going to happen tomorrow. What can I get away with? What kind of immunity does a president have so I don't have to stand trial and none of the other people have to stand trial for stuff I did? Because everything you ripped away from Trump is now ripped away from everybody you're doing business. The Peter Navarros, the Steve Bannons, your confidence that you did, you can no longer claim executive privilege. It's over. It's gone. There is no more executive privilege. There's no more even attorney-client privilege. You guys shredded it going after Trump. You absolutely shredded the Constitution, and now all of that there is a precedent. Those of you who are lawyers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So now, if I'm Biden or people around Biden, I got to start seeing where the chips fall. Wait till tomorrow and see what happens, and then we can make some moves. Don't you have to be found guilty for something to be pardoned? No. That's another misnomer. You can when the pardon is written, which is different than a commutation of a sentence. Commutation of a sentence means you've been sentenced, and I'm going to basically take it off the books. A pardon means you can actually say, I'm pardoning you for all crimes to date, and anything that may come uncovered in the future. And I mean, it's basically a get out of jail free card. That's why people were worried about Trump pardoning himself when he left office. He could have said, pardon me, I'm pardoned. Regina, thank you very much for the super chat. There's a lot here. Barry, America needs you to run for office. Please spread your word out. Excuse me, you're so knowledgeable, so I should keep people calm with your smart intelligence. Thank you very much. They want socialism, not democracy. Yeah. Right now, we're seeing the crumbling of the Democratic Party. We're watching everything crumble before us. We're watching the crumbling of the media. We're watching the media being dismantled. People's credibility, life credibility, is gone, is out the window. Karine Jean-Pierre, I don't know if she's going to do another press conference for a month. What do you do? Everyone in the audience at that point is going to look at her and go, you're a liar. You got up here last week and told everybody that they were seeing cheap fakes and deep fakes. CBS and NBC ran with stories and videos and interviews about cheap fakes and deep fakes. There was no cheap fake. 50 million plus people tuned into the debate and went, oh my God, this guy is toast. And you are a liar. That's what everybody found out. So, you heard my dog barking, so I'm going to go grab my dinner. Hope you guys had fun tonight. Tell your friends. Share the video. Please, whatever you do.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
Yes, like the video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go do some gargling and get my voice better. Hope you guys have a great evening. It's going to be a fun ride. Lots of